Coming home, Hawkeye women's basketball celebrates back in Carver.
Business is booming. The Iowa women's team brings business to Iowa City. A headache down south, the southern border weighs heavy on Iowa lawmakers' minds.
Storms have passed and no tornadoes in sight, but are we out of the woods yet? I'll have more in weather.
All that and more
coming up right now on DITV.
Good morning from Iowa City. It is Friday, April 12th. I'm Jace Bertrand.
And I'm Max Von Grease.
And the third member of our team, DITV's Colin Carruthers, is live outside to tell us today's weather story.
We had a bit of rain yesterday, Colin, but please tell me that was just a fluke.
Yeah, Max, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is that the rain seems to have gone away for now, but the bad news is, if you kind of see with my hair, the wind has returned in its place here in Iowa City. I'm here live at Hubbard Park, where it seems like spring is finally here to stay. Today we're going to be seeing highs of 64 and lows of 44. Tomorrow is going to be bringing a beautiful 76 degrees. I'll be back with the forecast for the week ahead, but for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Colin. And Max, there was a big homecoming at Carver Hawkeye Arena on Wednesday night.
Yeah, Jace, the Iowa women's basketball team returned to Carver Hawkeye Arena, where they were heavily celebrated. DITV's David Consuelos was at the arena for the historic welcoming.
The Iowa women's basketball team returned to Carver for the final time this season to be recognized for their incredible achievement and thank the Hawkeye faithful. Iowa City Mayor Bruce Teague made an appearance with a special announcement for the community.
Therefore, I, Bruce Teague, Mayor of Iowa City, hereby proclaim that April 10th, 2024 to be Iowa Women's Basketball Day in Iowa City!
In addition to the team honor, Caitlin Clark was recognized for her historic career. Athletic Director Beth Getz announced that Clark's number 22 was headed for the rafters.
This year she's won the Wooden Award, the Honda Sport Award, the Wade Trophy Award, the Naismith National Player of the Year. She's a USA Today AP First Team All-American, Big Ten Player of the Year. I mean, basically all of them. We always knew your jersey would be hanging in the rafters one day.
Although the seniors are moving on from the program and the season is now officially over, there is no doubt about the impact that the team has made on women's athletics and Iowa City. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, David Consuelos, DITV Sports.
Thanks, David. The Iowa women's basketball team added $82.5 million to local economy during the 2023-2024 season.
Local businesses drew promotions for a lot of customers. DITV's Claire Green is live in the newsroom with how the team impacted the businesses.
Yeah, Jace, the Caitlin Clark effect has taken over Iowa City. Local businesses are thriving because of the success the Iowa women's basketball team had this season. Everbowl is just one example. This business promoted $2.22 local favorite bowls for Clark, becoming the NCAA all-time leading scorer.
It's a huge time for the University of Iowa, for sports, for women's sports, so we just wanted to celebrate it and allow our customers to be able to celebrate with us.
Big Grove Brewery had a promotion for certain beers for $2.22 to honor Caitlin Clark's number 22. Fans gathered in Big Grove to celebrate and cheer on the Iowa women's basketball team.
We had people hooting and hollering, people standing on their chairs at the end of the game. Like, it was just a really cool atmosphere. I think it just even made their day to see how excited everybody else was outside of the room.
Midwest Mattress was promoting 19% off Beauty Rest products. Customers were very excited about this promotion because it was based on how well the Iowa women would do this season.
I just think it's a lot of fun. I think it supports the communities that we operate business in, that we operate stores in. Yeah, it's been exciting for our staff and for our guests.
There are a lot of people supporting these local businesses because of the women's basketball promotions. Local businesses hope that this continues next season after Clark leaves. Back to you, Jace.
Thanks, Claire. And Iowa City Police are looking for a person of interest in the financial crime investigation. The crime allegedly took place on April 5th, but the police have asked assistance from the public this week. The person of interest is a white woman with red-dyed hair, last seen in a purple long-sleeve shirt. Police are asking that anyone with information contact the Johnson County Joint Emergency Communications Center or the email listed. Resistance against change. Protesters are expected to fight against the university's removal of the Rape Victim Advocacy Program. The organization and its supporters plan to protest its removal on Saturday, April 13th at 1 p.m. on the Pentecrest. The RVAP offers direct support from volunteers to sexual assault victims, as well as resources for counseling and crisis lines. The UI reportedly did not tell anyone at the organization before withdrawing it and has unemployed all volunteers and full-time workers. Shaking things up, an independent presidential candidate is looking to make history in November. DITV reporter Matt Turpin has reactions of University of Iowa students with their thoughts on the dark horse presidential candidate.
The 2024 presidential election will not only have former Presidents Donald Trump and Joe Biden running, but also a new challenger, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who will be looking to make the biggest upset in modern American history.
RFK Jr. has shocked many Americans this year by polling so well as an independent candidate. The main reason for this is his popularity with young voters. Today, we're here on the University of Iowa campus to ask these young voters if they would vote for him and why.
It's a possibility, actually. Just because, I don't know, he's something different. I don't really like the other candidates.
I've heard a lot about how the independent party could win this year just because both of the Republican and Democrat party aren't super popular.
If I did a little bit more research on what he is running for and I align with those beliefs, then I would, yeah.
Despite this, there are still others who believe that it's not worthwhile to vote for him.
I think that a vote for him wouldn't do a whole lot just because I don't think he really has a very large chance of winning.
Yet political scientists do see how Kennedy has a chance.
A political context where a lot of voters just are, they're tired of making decisions of the lesser of two evil picks, tired of Biden and Trump. And so, politically, you can kind of see a landscape, some type of opening.
Although the election is still 7 months away, young voters and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will have an effect on the final result. Matt Turpin, DITV.
Trouble down south, the southern border continues to be a thorn in Congress's side. DITV Assistant News Director Johnny Valtman is live in Washington, D.C., where Iowa lawmakers have strong opinions on the topic.
With thousands of migrants entering the country illegally every day, the crisis at the southern border continues to grow.
We've seen a complete abuse and weaponization of the asylum system under President Biden, and it's his policies that have wide opened our border.
And while the issue is thousands of miles away, here in Washington, D.C., Iowa senators and representatives are working with their respective chambers to try and find a solution to the problem.
Human issue behind all of this, people need to be cared for. We cannot physically do it with that many people coming into the country.
President Joe Biden's policies for the border include making it easier for people to immigrate to the United States, more availability to green cards and visas, along with his catch and release policy, has led to many Republicans directing the blame to him for the southern border crisis.
We've seen a complete abuse and weaponization of the asylum system under President Biden, and it's his policies that have wide opened our border.
President Biden, when he came into office, did away with every policy that was working. And I think those clarifications to our legal immigration system are warranted, but right now the president has it within his control to stem this tide.
While legislation is being proposed to enforce stricter laws for undocumented immigrants in the United States, Iowa's federal lawmakers don't think it's enough to solve the issue.
Overall, it's not going to be a solution for the southern border issue, but it does hold people that are here illegally in the United States. It does hold them accountable.
The issue continues to boil, and with the lack of bipartisan support for changes here in D.C., it's going to continue to stay at the forefront of all the politicians' minds. From Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., Johnny Valtman, DITV.
DITV Thrive hosted a spring social media cleanup on Wednesday. The event looked to keep students productive on their phones and avoid using trigger accounts that can be distracting. Trigger accounts present a threat to users by keeping them glued to their phones for extended periods of time. These accounts have the potential to take away from a student's focus on school,
making them feel really more frustrated, annoyed, anxious, irritated, sad, whatever it might be when they are looking at that account, or even finding themselves thinking about that after they are out of the account. That might be an example of an account that would be triggering.
As the school year draws to a close and finals right around the corner, stress can become a significant factor. Setting limits on these trigger accounts and other distracting apps can get students on the right track to finishing the year strong.
And coming up later, the SJMC celebrated 100 years with a student showcase.
But first, let's take a look back outside with Colin for the forecast for the week ahead.
Yeah, thanks guys. We're almost halfway through April now, which means we're almost halfway through spring, which might have some people wondering, where did all the tornadoes go? Last year we had a fair amount of storms, 71 to be exact, but Iowa is currently in a drought right now. Tornadoes need a mix of dry and humid air to form. But for the week ahead, we'll see those temperatures climb up for the weekend and then drop down just a little as we see some showers roll through. Now I'm going to keep enjoying this warm, dry weather, so I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Colin. Now, Max, the women's season just got over with, but I heard that there's already big plans for Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, and she hasn't even been drafted yet.
Yeah, that's right, Jace. Though the WNBA draft isn't until Monday, preparations for the Indiana Fever's #1 overall pick are already in play. After Caitlin Clark's historic college career, many speculate this will carry over into her professional career and expect her to be the Fever's first overall pick. Because of all this anticipation, the Indiana Fever will have 90% of their games on national television. This has also prompted other teams to make adjustments by moving some games into larger arenas. Others are specifically promoting their home games for when Clark comes to town. The Fever will start their season on May 14th on the road against Connecticut Sun on ESPN2. And the University of Iowa track and field senior Mariel Bruxfort was named Big Ten Track and Field Athlete of the Week. The Grand Rapids native contributed to 2 key wins at the Jim Click Shootout on April 6th when she took home first in the 400-meter hurdles before helping the 4x400 team break the Hawkeye program record. Bruxfort leads the Big Ten in the 400-meter hurdles and is a key part of that Hawkeye 4x400-meter relay team. And the Hawkeye baseball team picked up another key win yesterday as they took down the St. Thomas Tommies for the second time this season, winning 17-11 in what turned out to be a barn burner. The Hawkeyes' bats were on fire as they totaled 17 hits after being down 5 runs after just the first half inning. The Hawkeyes are now 17-13 on the year. Now, they will be preparing for a massive Big Ten series this weekend in Columbus against the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes are 15-14 this season and 4-4 at home, and are coming off back-to-back non-conference game victories over Bowling Green and Morehead State, and they'll be continuing to lean on MLB prospect Gavin Bruni on Saturday as a Game 2 starter. The Iowa softball team will be back in action this weekend when they head north to Ann Arbor for a weekend series with the Michigan Wolverines. They are coming off a long break after being swept by the Purdue Boilermakers in West Lafayette last weekend.
You know, Max, it's great when these big sports end. You always wonder, are things going to slow down? But I'm glad everything's going and everything's still exciting.
Yeah, Iowa athletics, full steam ahead. Keep on going, keep on rolling.
And speaking about going on and keep on rolling, the University of Iowa School of Journalism celebrated 100 years this week. And what better way to celebrate than to showcase student journalists' work? The SJMC hosted Storytelling Across Media SJMC Student Showcase that featured students' work from photography, graphic design, and articles. This capped off a week-long celebration to highlight 100 years of Iowa students' success with journalists. Thank you for joining us online or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM.
We are here live from Iowa City every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. and online anytime at dailyiowan.com.
For Colin Carruthers and Max Von Grease, I'm Jace Bertrand. See you again on Monday morning right here on DITV.